The Gents, the G-Men, Big Blue, the New York Football Giants. This team with many names is one of the most significant teams in the history of the NFL. In their over 90 years of operation, the Giants have taken home 8 total NFL titles, including 4 Super Bowls, and have become the third most valuable team in the league, being worth over $3 billion. The Giants' great success is attributed to the great teams they've had, and those great teams are a product of their several great players. Here they are, the top 10 New York Giants of all time. Number 10, Phil Simms. Drafted out of small school Morehead State at 7th overall, Simms was able to live up to his high draft status and led New York to 7 postseason appearances during his career, 2 of which culminated in Super Bowl appearances. In Super Bowl 21, Simms was nearly perfect, going 22 for 25 while throwing 3 touchdowns and leading the Giants to a 39-20 victory over the Denver Broncos, where he would take home MVP honors. Those 199 touchdowns and 33,000 yards aren't exactly Hall of Fame numbers. Simms' leadership and stability under center was absolutely vital to the team's success. Number 9, Sam Huff. After being taken in the 3rd round of the 1956 NFL Draft, Huff struggled to find a position until defensive coordinator Tom Landry plugged him into the middle of his new 4-3 defense, where he became a star. Later that season, he became the first rookie linebacker to ever start in a championship game and helped hold the Chicago Bears to just 7 points in the Giants' victory. In 1959, Huff was named Outstanding Linebacker of the NFL and was the anchor of a defense that helped the team reach 5 more championship games from 1958 to 1963. Huff's efforts helped legitimize the 4-3 scheme, which paved the way for modern defenses. Number 8, Eli Manning. Drafted first overall by San Diego and immediately traded to the Giants for Phillip Rivers and a couple of draft picks, Manning came out swinging in his first full season as starter, leading the Giants to an 11-5 record and a playoff berth. A couple years later, Manning would lead the Giants on one of the most improbable playoff runs in history, bringing the 6th seed all the way to Super Bowl 42, where they took on Tom Brady and the undefeated New England Patriots. With a minute left, Manning wheeled the Giants down the field, converting on 3rd down thanks to a certain helmet catch, and capping off the drive with the go-ahead touchdown pass to Plaxico Burress with just 30 seconds left. Manning would be named MVP and would etch his name in history as the leader of the greatest upset of all time. 4 years later, Manning would win his 2nd title in another nail-biter against New England. Manning currently holds every major Giants passing record and will likely go down as the greatest quarterback the team has ever known. Not too bad for Peyton's little brother. Number 7, Harry Carson. The leader of the famed linebacking corps known as the Crunch Bunch, Carson was a brilliant run stopper whose nose for the ball was the perfect complement to Lawrence Taylor's pass rushing prowess. In Super Bowl 21, Carson was the sole captain for the team, and his 7 tackles helped the Giants win their first title, where he would begin the tradition of the Gatorade shower by dumping the sports drink onto the shoulders of Coach Bill Parcells. Carson played every one of his 13 seasons with New York, and in that time he would be named in 9 Pro Bowls and 2 All-Pro teams. His leadership helped shape one of the great defenses of its era. Number 6, Michael Strahan. While you may recognize him as the guy who used to hang out with Kelly Ripa, or the dude between Howie and Jimmy on Fox NFL Sunday, most know him as the legendary pass rusher for the New York Giants. For 15 seasons, Strahan gave quarterbacks problems for the Giants and became the team's all-time sacks leader. In 2001, he set the still unbroken record for most sacks in a season with 22.5. He would also be named Defensive Player of the Year for this performance. Strahan's final game was Super Bowl 43, where the Giants took on the 18-0 Patriots. He and the defense held Tom Brady's record-breaking offense to just 14 points. He would go out as a champion and be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2014. While he continues to make a name for himself as a media personality, Giants fans will always remember Strahan as the heart and soul of Big Blue. Number 5, Mel Hayes. Playing every season of his 15-year career with the Giants, Hayes never missed a down due to injury. This is especially impressive due to the fact that he started at both center and linebacker. Hayes helped the Giants win NFL championships in 1934 and 38. He was also named All-NFL every season from 1933 to 1940. In 1938, he became the first and only offensive lineman to be named NFL MVP. In 1963, Hayes was named as one of the 17 charter members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Number 4, Emlyn Tunnell. Before even stepping onto the field, this undrafted free agent made history by being the first African-American player to be signed by the Giants. This was just the beginning of what would become an extremely impressive Hall of Fame career. Tunnell had at least 6 interceptions in each of his first 10 seasons. His ability to take said interceptions deep into opposing territory earned him the nickname Offense on Defense. In 1952, he put that name to good use, as he had more yards returning interceptions and kicks than the NFL's leading rusher had running the ball. His 79 interceptions are good enough for second all-time. This ball-hawking ability has cemented his legacy as the greatest defensive back in Giants history. Number 3, Rosey Brown. Drafted in the 27th round of the 1953 NFL Draft, Brown was a virtual unknown entering the league, but he would go on to anchor the offensive line that would help the Giants win the 1956 NFL Championship. His quick feet and large frame made him an ideal fit for protecting the blind side of quarterbacks Charlie Connerly and Y.A. Tittle, but he was just as impressive in the run game, opening up holes for Frank Gifford and company. Even today, Brown is known as one of the most athletically gifted linemen to ever step onto the field. Number 2, Frank Gifford. Like a Swiss Army knife, Gifford could do it all, making the Pro Bowl at 3 different positions during his career. His 78 total touchdowns are still the most in team history. On the ground, he had over 3,500 yards, and through the air, he had 367 catches with over 5,000 yards. He was even a threat throwing the ball, with 14 touchdown passes on 60 career attempts. During the Giants' 1956 championship campaign, Gifford was named MVP of the league with 9 total touchdowns and over 1,000 yards of offense. After missing a year of play in 1961 due to a vicious hit from the Eagles' Chuck Bednarik, his career was put in serious jeopardy. In light of this, he was moved to wide receiver, and his pairing with the newly acquired quarterback Y.A. Tittle helped Gifford have one of the most productive seasons of his career, helping him earn 1962 Comeback Player of the Year. Gifford was the man who popularized New York football and brought the Giants to the forefront of sports. Number 1, Lawrence Taylor. Surprised? Didn't think so. Not only is Taylor the greatest New York Giant of all time, he's one of the greatest players of all time, period. After being drafted 2nd overall in 1981, Taylor made an immediate impact with his 19.5 unofficial sacks, Defensive Rookie of the Year, and most impressively, Defensive Player of the Year. But in 1986, he would become a legend. That season, Taylor had 20.5 sacks and took home several accolades, including his 3rd Defensive Player of the Year. Taylor also became just the 2nd and most recent defensive player to win league MVP. Now you may be asking yourself, how could that season possibly get any better for Taylor? Well, it did, as he took home his first of 2 Lombardi trophies with the Giants' Super Bowl 21 victory. Taylor changed the game in many ways. He was one of the original pass-rushing outside linebackers. He also forced teams to draft larger, quicker tackles to keep up with the new breed of larger, faster edge rushers. There are good players, there are great players, there are legends, and then there's LT, who is in a league of his own.